You don't even know the depth of what you don't know.
Hi, Curslings. I have another update for you about the Resilient Jenkins. Now, we haven't had a post from Stephanie since this one back on Wednesday. Then, yesterday, her mom made a video addressing the situation, which I just covered in my last video. Well, Stephanie has caught wind of her mother's video and she's throwing a hissy fit, posting this on Facebook. Anyone claiming to be my mother and posting is definitely not my mom. Laughing, crying emoji. Yeah, no, that is absolutely Stephanie's mother, and I can prove it. Here's pictures of her mom with both of her daughters. Just to clear up any confusion, let's continue. Y'all don't know how my mom really is. If she gave two craps about the situation, she would be at my door weeks ago, all in my ear about how I should have learned from her mistakes. So, fun fact, Stephanie blocked her mom almost a year ago.
Take a look around. Do you see her anywhere? News flash. You're not gonna.
Not the other way around. Stephanie cut her mother out, claiming that she doesn't need her in her life or something to that effect.
My sister and I have grown so far apart in the last couple of years, and I'm not even sure she knows why. She just has this opinion that I've just lost myself and become a person that just doesn't want to associate with the family. But she has it completely wrong. These past couple years, I've gone through a tremendous spiritual growth and changeover. I don't know how else to put that. But it's definitely made me come to the realization that my family has a lot of codependency and toxicity that I just don't want anything. I don't want to be a part of it. You know, and it all kind of centers around my mother, who is, I've kind of out of my life. But all of my siblings except my oldest brother, they all live in the same complex as my mom, and they all just continue to feed off each other throughout their adulthood. Now, since I've separated myself from that and I've grown a lot in the past couple of years, they just don't even know how to communicate with me, and interactions with them have been so awkward. If it's because we're trying to keep the kids together and get their relationship to get strong throughout the years, yeah, well, they're going to end up seeing our relationship. They're going to end up questioning, and they're going to realize that their parents hold different values and they may hold different values. So I just kind of like, what is the point of waiting for the inevitable? Why not make the decision that we don't jive together? And it sucks. It freaking hurts like mad, because this is the family I grew up with. This is my sister. I mean, she was my best friend from birth, bro.
If my mom is posting, Stephanie continues, one, I don't know of it. I'm sorry, then what's this? What's this community post then? Wouldn't this be you knowing of it, since you're claiming that it isn't her and addressing it? Knock knock. Is anybody home? It's me. Rational thought. Open up. And two, I wouldn't be surprised if she saw a chance to have financial gain by speaking up. My dear, sweet curslings, Stephanie's mother has just over 1,000 followers on TikTok. She's not monetized. She's not gaining anything from this. She put herself out there knowing that this might happen. Remember how I said a few videos ago that everything always comes back to money with Stephanie?
You guys are shallow, super shallow, like seriously, because people who have money don't need more. And I get that people are like, well, they've worked towards that, and they deserve to flaunt that they have money that could feed other people. You're not gonna ever get me to agree with that. I will never agree that people who have a lot of money and are greedy deserve to be greedy. No.
Especially when it comes to social media, this is yet another example of that. Anyway, Stephanie ends her post by concluding that she very well may be running her mouth. Yikes. Keep in mind that this is coming from someone who, as of Sunday, March 16th, will no longer have a place to live, unless by some miracle they find somewhere to live between now and then that isn't a homeless shelter or a motel. They're homeless.
Asking, what would the plan be if you guys don't find housing? Okay, I don't know of another plan besides getting a hotel and getting a storage unit.
Which, by the way, Stephanie has now confirmed will be the case in her subscribers only group, writing, "We are getting a storage unit and U-Haul today to get our stuff out. That's our next move." Still no news on housing, just taking it step by step at this point. Taking it step by step. And, throwing a fit because her mother upended her narrative that no one in her family would ever help her because they're so mean.
Because even the fact that I have 4 siblings who have housing out here and a mother, none of them have offered for us to stay with them until we figure out some kind of situation. Nor would I even want to stay with any of them.
Oh no, Stephanie can't cry victim anymore. What will she do? Crash out some more.
See, I completely agree. Sometimes, when you separate and you get your own separate lives and you just grow into different people, and it's not like it's meant to be even negative towards them. It's just we have different interests, we have different values, and sometimes it can be hard to communicate when you carry different values, especially. And it definitely adds to the lack of communication when that person that you have grown away from sticks to the group that you used to be a part of, and they kind of stay in those values, but your values have changed. And in my case, I'm talking about family. When they all continue to stay close-knit, and you're going to end up kind of sharing the same values and having, I don't want to say the same spiritual growth, but along the same spiritual growth journey, because it's inevitable, especially when you stay close with family.
Now she has to vilify her mother, who very calmly said, "I miss my daughter, I miss my grandchildren, they're totally welcome here, just not Drew."
But make no mistake, I have absolutely no room in my heart, in my home, or anywhere in my I just can't even go there. Drew's not welcome here. He's not welcome here.
Her mother also confirmed what Stephanie already told us in her content last May, that Stephanie blocked her. She cut contact with her. She also reinforced that Stephanie is well aware that she can always turn to her mom whenever she needs to, is ready to, wants to, and that her daughter hasn't done that. Her daughter has made no effort to bridge that gap. Finally, her mom also confirmed that she's currently working on trying to get emergency custody of the kids should things continue to worsen for the Resilient Jenkins. For the worst case Ontario, if everything goes horrible in the coming days and weeks, she is ready to step in and help. Now, I also want to touch on the other half of this equation, Drew, as I want to make it very, very clear that I think that both Stephanie and Drew have handled their entire situation in the most irresponsible, entitled, useless, immature way imaginable. I think that it was a mistake for Stephanie to dive into her relationship with Drew as quickly as she did. I think that it was a mistake for Drew to allow her to move in with him, knowing that he was receiving rental assistance specifically for his son. I think that it was wildly irresponsible for them to have multiple children in an already effed up situation. Living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 children in it was not the situation to start breeding in my humble opinion. They're being evicted because they were behind on rent. They are being evicted because of their own actions, not because her mom or her siblings didn't swoop in to save her, not because the internet and haters reported them. They're being evicted because they didn't pay their bills. And by the way, the reason I think that they weren't paying their bills, I'm pretty sure it has to do with the fact that Drew decided to not go to court for child support in October, because all of this started going downhill as soon as Arlita came after him for child support, for 10 years of unpaid child support. Stephanie and Drew also alienated themselves from Stephanie's family. They chose to do that.
And before you go being oh, you could go over there, we did multiple times. For the past 2 years, it was me and my fiance making the effort to go to the family. And then as soon as we quit making effort, ain't nobody seeing anybody. Nobody comes seeing us. If I'm not throwing the effort out, nobody's doing anything. So if that
They are also alienating Desiree from having access to DS, Drew's son. Stephanie used her daughters to call out her haters and coach them to do whatever that was. Oh, and we can't forget the cats. We can't forget that they, within 2 weeks of being evicted, decided to make their 4 cats permanently outdoor cats, very likely with the intention of abandoning them. And now, Stephanie is trying to manipulate her audience and claim that her family doesn't support her, that she has no one to fall back onto. And her mother has come out and said, nope, that's not true. Her family just doesn't support Drew. And Stephanie has known that the entire time and still has chosen her man over doing the right, responsible thing. Both of them have chosen to be selfish this entire time. Oh, and the part where she probably punched a kid. So there's that too. Anyway, we'll see what else happens next. But I have a feeling that this weekend is about to get really messy and really ugly. So we're gonna roll with the updates as they come. I'm gonna try my best to keep up with it, but I am a mom. It is the weekend. We'll do our best. We'll talk soon, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!